They chase pumps, we catch narratives early. No signals, just strategy. We build wealth together. Join us with the link in bio. All right, y'all, so we are back with another Toshi video. I know the title may not seem so, but I'm gonna explain it here. So essentially, when it comes down to Toshi, what you should be buying into is a lot bigger than Toshi. And the bet that you're placing, if you're betting on Toshi, it is not just about Toshi. Toshi is a part of an ecosystem. It's a part of a much grander plan. It's something bigger, a hell of a lot bigger at play going on in the overall crypto space. And you all have to understand exactly where Toshi is positioned, because you got regulatory clarity coming out. There's platforms that's been stamped as official. Like Brian met with Trump and everything, and Coinbase is solidified. Coinbase is already the biggest exchange in the world, but yeah, Coinbase is solidified now. Coinbase is the crypto exchange of the world. America is like, Trump's goal was to make America the crypto capital of the world, which he is succeeding in. And Coinbase was already the biggest exchange in the world. Well, it's been an argument between Coinbase and Binance, but Coinbase is taking over. Like it's been close, but I believe that Coinbase is the biggest. But time will tell. But at the end of the day, with America being the crypto capital of the world, by default, that makes Coinbase the biggest exchange in the world, the most important and influential exchange in the world. So that's a very, very important thing to keep in mind. So the bet on Toshi, if you analyze, I challenge you all to do this. Hop on ChatGPT and look at the tokens that's been listed for Base, and let ChatGPT explain. Like, ask why choose these to list? What was the point of doing this? And you'll notice that they released certain categories. They released some AI, they released some meme coins, they released certain categories, a test group of some of their most trusted, most polished projects that reflects well on what Base is trying to build. And also the projects that has a stamp of approval when it comes down to regulatory regulatory guidelines. So essentially, people were making the argument that, oh, the introduction of Base that they wanted to put on Coinbase, those was the trash projects. They're saving the best for last. That narrative makes no sense. You're building a brand new chain. Are you going to put your best foot forward, or are you going to be out here putting your worst foot forward? Like a lot of the narrative for certain projects that don't get listed and can't get listed, they have to come up with a narrative that they can convince people of. And if you're uneducated in this space, which many people are, you may fall for that. Oh, saving the best for last sounds good. But if you're starting a brand new business, any business in the world, let's say you want to start selling pairs of jeans, are you going to put your shittiest pair of jeans out first that you're trying to sell, or are you going to bring the best out? Are you going to bring your best product out that you're trying to sell when you're first starting a business? Like, it's very simple. It's very common sense. Any business in human history, you will try to put the best foot forward first. Even if you had plans or goals of scamming and BS, even scammers bring out their best before, So it's like the mindset of people, oh, they're saving the best for last. It makes sense until you use some real sense. But anyway, that being said, the bet is on Coinbase. The bet is on Coinbase and Base, which they have already made it clear that they plan to bring $1 trillion into the Base ecosystem. They're going to be using Base and Coinbase wallet to onboard people into crypto. And that is an on-ramp directly connected to the United States government. That's an on-ramp that's an on-ramp that they're verifying things to make sure that it's in line. Like maybe the other projects they wouldn't put under. I believe that their process in their listing process, it is a very gruesome process, which they go through a lot to list it. But when it comes down to what they're listing from Base, I think they put even more effort into that, because it directly represents Coinbase and what Coinbase is about. Well, if something was to be off or weird or sketchy when it comes down to things on Base, like let's say a project launching and one individual owning 80% of the supply, or a bunch of influencers owning like 100 or so influencers owning 80% of the supply, that would be kind of sketchy to come out, and that would be a bad look for Coinbase. So that being said, this is why they have these they have these little safeguards in place where they make sure they only put the most quality projects first. So I've been a little bit more outspoken about my overall vision. I'm much more outspoken about this stuff in the private network, and I really explain a lot of stuff that you'll never hear me talk about publicly, because the thing is, this strategy is so much bigger than people realize. The world is changing. Everything in the world is changing. So many people are going to be losing their jobs. So much is going to be changing in everyday life. And if you're not prepared for what's coming, you are going to be ran through and ran over like you're going to get hit by a tank, man. Like, it's going to be crazy. So it's very, very important for you to actually see the bigger picture, because we're going to start somewhere interesting. As you can see, Toshi's looking crazy. Not much buy volume today. You know, not much really going on. It's more sellers right now, which is to be expected. People get scared, people get nervous, all that type of stuff. Who cares? At the end of the day, it does not change the position that Toshi is in and the position that Coinbase is in. It doesn't change the position at all. It always reminds me of that old Amazon message where they were talking about how Amazon was very profitable and being very, very successful, but the stock was tanking for some reason. It made no sense. Amazon was at its most successful peak at one point in time, early on in its career, and the stock market didn't match the level of success Amazon was at. But that is when you buy, you double down, triple down, and things like that, because the world hasn't caught up to the value of something that, to the value of something. Like the world hasn't caught on to the fact that something is valuable. Now, obviously, Toshi is no Amazon. We're not making that comparison that Toshi is Amazon. It's a meme coin. But what that meme coin is an on-ramp to the base ecosystem, which is very, very important, because meme coins are going nowhere. So if you are going to support the base ecosystem, what is the most trusted, oldest project on base? That would be Toshi. So, I mean, and it's a lot more history to it than that. But let's dive into something interesting first. Check this out. Like, look at the price of Bitcoin. The top Bitcoin holders, you got Satoshi still. Coinbase is up there. Binance up there. Look at BlackRock's holdings. Look at Strategy, Fidelity, Grayscale, US government. So as you can see, people are constantly, like, these governments are people are constantly buying Bitcoin, but the price isn't going up and pumping astronomically yet. Why? Who's selling? Where's all this Bitcoin coming from? How can they nonstop be buying? You have these whales, these huge, insanely rich organizations and people buying Bitcoin nonstop, but it's not pumping. How is that possible? There's not that many. There can't be that many sellers. That should let you know that something a lot deeper is at play. The fact that these people can just keep buying at these prices and it's not moving Bitcoin the way that you would expect for it to be moving Bitcoin. There's something more at play. That lets you know by itself. But if you're so busy worrying about, oh, my Solana meme coin is down or that meme coin is down, you're not really focusing on the bigger game here. You're not really focusing on the bigger picture here. You're missing things. And the fact that these people have been nonstop stacking Bitcoin and it's not going anywhere, it should tell you that there's something bigger at play. And I'm not going to break that down. I'm just pointing out the fact that how this is a mindset thing, and this is a strategy thing, and this is something that's been used since the beginning of time. When smart money and whales come into a project, they can be buying consistently and it won't move the price. There's reasons for that. And it's something that's very common. So you look at how Toshi isn't really going anywhere. The price of Toshi isn't pumping or going crazy or anything like that. Yet we come over to stuff like this and look at this. Toshi is different. This is smart whale. This smart whale kept pawning at the dip and 12x their Toshi stack from 150 mil to 1.8 billion. The face of base isn't just any meme with purr. It's a cat with a roar. So check it out. You got people constantly buying Toshi, people constantly stacking Toshi, and yet it's not moving, it's not blowing up, it's not pumping the way that you would expect it to be pumping. But this is the entire crypto market right now. This is a whale paradise. This is going to be the biggest transference of wealth ever. And this is why the people who know what's going on right now, they're constantly stacking the things that they value, because the markets are being heavily manipulated. And every market is heavily manipulated. I don't want you to think that this is a fair game meant for any of us to win. This game is not for us. This game is not for us. We're supposed to give in to FOMO. We're supposed to fall for tricks and traps and all of this other stuff. That is our role here. Our role is to take our little money and hand it over to these corporations and organizations and things like that. That is our role here. We're not supposed to be stacking with them. We're not supposed to be patient with them. We're not supposed to be able to invest, sit there and wait patiently. We're not supposed to be able to do these things. We have the freedom and option to do these things, but we're not supposed to be knowledgeable enough to do it. And that's what you have to understand. So people are expecting these markets to move at the pace that they expect when they ain't never had no real money. Why would you think that anything you expect is going to play out the way that you expect it? You have to get out of your own head and what you think is logical, because the things that you think is logical is what's led to you being broke. You need to think about what they think is logical. You need to remove yourself from the equation and think about, okay, how are they thinking? Well, why are they making that decision? Why did they do that? Why are they behaving in this way? Why are they making the market do what it's doing right now? Once you get out of your own head and your own expectations and realize you don't know anything, that's when you can be open to the fact of, okay, I don't know nothing, but let me try to analyze what they know. Like, why are they doing this? Why are they making that decision? What type of stuff do they know? Because we don't know what we don't know. And sometimes we can get connections where we may find out some things, but chances are we're not going to know what we don't know. And that's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine for us to not know the things that we don't know. That's okay. But the goal here is to follow the whales, understand their perspectives and why they're moving the way that they're moving, and us to try to get a little bit and move with them and not against them. Going against people bigger than you, more successful than you, and with more capital than you will never win that battle. That's why you want to get in position before they start getting in position. People has been arguing with me all day, or trying to argue with me. I don't really engage in arguments too long term. I really just shut shit down and I keep it moving. But people have been saying all type of stuff. So I've been a little bit more outspoken about what's going on, and let me dive into it right now. I'm gonna dive into some of my thoughts and opinions that I've been sharing. So he said SPX 900 and Brett both shit on Toshi easily, but hopefully it can reach at least $5 billion market cap. So SPX 900 and Brett both shit on Toshi easily. Now, if you look into the history of Brett, nowhere near. This is someone who's clearly only going by market cap. Clearly only going by market cap. So it's kind of hard to even really engage with someone who's basing everything off of market cap, because there's so much to this game than market cap. The thing with an inferior project is very, very important for an inferior project to keep their market cap high, otherwise they won't be competitive. You have to keep that. If you have nothing else going for you, a noob and beginner, you'll be able to trick based on the market cap. So you have to keep that looking good. When a project has actual fundamentals, like Bitcoin can fall to wherever it's going to fall to, and people are still going to buy it because it's Bitcoin. That's the importance of fundamentals and what something is and what it actually does. People will keep buying. When it comes down to certain meme coins are dead. Now, you can say that the same thing will happen with Toshi, but Base is just getting started. Coinbase is just bringing this platform out, and they're the only platform currently focused on building. I mean, truly building. You got Pump Fund out here making things go pair by, and yes, it's a lot of money moving through that whole gambling ring over there. It's a lot of money moving through that. But at the end of the day, that is not really crypto. That is a gamble. That's a game for gamblers, and no one over there is winning. Very few people over there is winning. Mainly the scammers and the cheaters are over there winning, and people just keep trying and trying and trying because they're addicted, and they don't know how to actually invest, how to actually play this game. So they're going to spend all their time in the casino getting wrecked. And when people start making gains and profits because we've invested in like narratives, they won't even understand what's happening. They won't see what's coming. But anyway, basically, after he said that, I said, the reason 99% of people lose in crypto is because they all think the same, short-term and number focused. Toshi is better positioned than any meme this cycle, period. Retail thinks small, whales don't. Coinbase is building with regulatory clarity, The base tokens they've listed check every box for institutional money to feel safe holding long term. Just because it's not pumping fast enough for retail doesn't mean it's dead. You never judge the success of something based on retail. Never. Because the whales is what move markets. Retail is going to jump on board as soon as the whales start pumping something and letting it fly. That is when retail is going to FOMO in. That's how the game goes. Whales are what you want to watch, and whales are the only people that's important in the market. This is not a game for us. We want the projects that whales trust, that they want to hold, that they believe is going to go to the moon. We want the projects best positioned for that. And Coinbase is aligned with the US government, which that means base, and everything that they're creating on base, they're creating it and supporting it in alignment with the US government as well. Which means if a whale is going to put their money somewhere and make sure that they're not going to meet any regulatory resistance at any point, the wisest thing for somebody with real money to do is to be supporting something created by Coinbase itself. Every aspect of this market is heavily manipulated. I would rather be with the big dogs capable, and not to say Coinbase is manipulating anything, but I know that every aspect of this game is manipulated. I would rather be with people with the most power to manipulate. Coinbase is aligned with the government. Listen, if manipulation is going to take place, I would rather align with the big dog when it comes down to it, as opposed to being against the big dog. So yeah, I'll just put it that way. Smart money isn't impatient, it's strategic. Pumping one shitcoin after another isn't a strategy, it's noise. Ask yourself, would real whales ever put serious money into what these KOLs are pushing? But here's the real context where the statement falls short. This is the statement. This was me talking to ChatGPT and asking it, like, basically based on the facts, is this statement factual type thing. They both shit on Toshi easily. It's short-sighted. It ignores narrative strength, which often drives long-term value. Narrative strength often drives long-term value. Toshi is the first meme coin on base listed on Coinbase, which has institutional backing signals. You don't get that from SPX or Brett. SPX is the short-term hype leader, not a guaranteed long-term winner. Its branding is genius, but meme tokens live and die by culture cycles. It has no deeper foundation or ecosystem involvement beyond virality. Toshi is undervalued right now relative to its positioning. If Base has its Solana moment, Toshi becomes the Doge and Shiba of Base. That makes its current $229 million market cap seem cheap, not weak. Now, the guy responded to this. He said, saying XPX isn't guaranteed long-term winner when the whole goal is to flip the stock market is absurd. I go on to correct him a little. Nothing in crypto, he said guaranteed. Nothing in crypto is guaranteed. Every project has bold goals. SPX wants to flip the stock market, but let's be honest, it was launched by an anonymous team, the devs abandoned it, and it's now community run, built purely on satire. There's no roadmap, no core team, no regulatory alignment, just vibes. Toshi, on the other hand, is listed on Coinbase, named after Brian Armstrong's dog, named after the creator of crypto, all of this. He's named after that. Aligned with regulatory clarity and the biggest US crypto institutions, positioned within a real long-term ecosystem. Base. One is a meme with a great punchline, the other is a community token backed by infrastructure, credibility, and strategic positioning. So ask yourself, which one would real whales and institutions bet on long-term? The thing is, every new token and new narrative that people see an influencer, I think Murad pumped this one, people see these influencers say, oh, you know what, this is going to be a great thing, and the influencer just jumps behind it because, yo, it's cool, they want to take over the stock market. I think we can get behind that. I really believe in that. And yes, it may be a cool thing, but what is, and it's essentially, I feel like it comes down to what's the stronger argument here, because I feel the same way about what I'm invested in. But if you want to actually, like, taking over the stock market is a cool goal, but is it actually aligned to do that? It's just a fucking meme coin. Let's be honest, it's just a meme coin. Now, take it over to Toshi. The US government is laying down regulation. Coinbase is aligning everything that they're doing with these regulations. They're building out Base with the plans of putting $1 trillion into the ecosystem, and they are promoting Toshi. They're promoting Toshi within Coinbase wallet, and they actually have promoted Toshi by listing it on Coinbase and making it more accessible to all of the people who use Coinbase. There's a lot at play that Toshi has going for it. There's a lot at play that Toshi has going for it. So it shows you that it's actually aligned fundamentally with what Toshi is trying to accomplish. It's fundamentally positioned. SPX is just really a cool dream. And this is not to down any other project. It may still go far. It may still be very successful. But we're talking about strategy here. You can't strategize for, oh, they say that they want to beat the stock market. We're going to get it to beat the stock market. It's like, sounds cool. It sounds very unrealistic, but it sounds like if the crypto community really wants that narrative to go, it's a lot of money and power in crypto to make that go. But the problem is there's just a lot more important things that you can do with meme coins now, like being positioned like Toshi to actually onboard people into a real ecosystem building real things like Base. Base is an option now. He said, trust me, I've been following Toshi since 130K, currently holding with bullish predictions personally. But no coin has a goal as far-fetched as SPX besides Bitcoin, plain and simple. That's not true. It sounds good, like that sales pitch sounds cool, but you know, Monero is actually much better than, and you might want to look into that, do your research into that. That's position, like, it's a lot of stuff out here that is just shitting on SPX, to be honest. Like, let's not get past the fact that it's just a meme coin. But yeah, the closer we get, and comparing it to Bitcoin was a wild statement. Like that's hype, that's narrative, and that's being pushed by influencers. Influence is what makes people say crazy stuff like this. Because if you check this stuff factually, it doesn't align at all. The closer we get to 69 trillion, the less delusional it'll sound. The closer we get to 69 trillion, and I didn't even really, I breezed past that. He thinks that this meme coin is getting close to 69 trillion. $69 trillion. Because if that's the case, that's wild work. But anyway, it's a true meme coin. Moral of the story, both will do well. And I said, any team can make a goal. Just because it's a big goal doesn't mean it's likely at all it'll hit it. I wish it the best, but I only deal in facts. The fact supports Toshi. SPX is nothing more than a big ass dream. Many people would agree with you. In my experience, the majority always loses in this game. I'm very comfortable being in the minority. I do wish all projects the best though. I just don't have any feelings in this game. Facts is all I care about. And that's real. I only really care about the facts. I care about the narrative. I care about where something is positioned. I don't care about a bunch of people getting together and saying, oh, we're gonna make this bigger than the stock market. Sounds good. And you may, like, I saw the GameStop AMC stuff. You may be able to make some stuff happen. But at the end of the day, talking about a $69 trillion market cap is dirty work for a meme coin. But yeah. Also, one of my other opinions, people keep saying there won't be another alt season because there's too many coins now. Wrong. Whales don't invest in everything. They invest in narratives. Retail follows whatever they pump. Strong stories still go parabolic. Just watch what happens with Toshi. This is a fact. This is 100% fact. Everyone is out here chasing the new meme coin. I think, who is that? Cardi B just released the meme coin and rugged it. And it's like people still invested in that. You didn't see that shit coming. How many times has that happened this year? And the thing is, people know it's going to come. People know it's going to happen. They think that they can get in, get their money, and get out quick enough. Everyone thinks the same thing. So how likely is it that you'll be able to do that? How likely is it? The only people that win is the scammers who launch the tokens. But meanwhile, people keep looking at these areas that just keep going to costing them money, that's going to keep costing them money, as opposed to looking at where they can just buy something that's in position and hold. Shut up, hold, relax. You can buy something that's really in position and just hold it and relax. But nah, people don't think like that. But check it out. I also said, I'll just leave this here. When you're educated on the facts and can see the big picture, all it takes is patience. Let the world catch up. It's hard being ahead, but it pays off the most in the end. When you're ahead, when you see the narrative, you see come, Trump making America the crypto capital, Coinbase being the #1 exchange, Coinbase building its own based ecosystem. Everything wants to be successful by being listed on Coinbase. Every project you can think of wants a Coinbase listing. Let's start there. Everything wants a Coinbase listing. So you think that Coinbase is going to embarrass itself by actually listing its own things and building its own things out and letting it go to shit and become a failure and a laughing stock of crypto? Coinbase didn't become #1 by being a laughing stock of and releasing shitty things. If anything, Coinbase is even more incentivized to make their stuff the #1. So it's just like, I bet on winners. Coinbase wins. Trump bets on winners. That's why he's aligned with Brian and Coinbase. These are winners. Think like a winner. And this is just realistic. Like when I talk to ChatGPT about stuff like this, I'd be like, yo, remove anything that I've told you about my thoughts and opinions. Take me out of this. Take me out of this and analyze this objectively, analyzing all the information that you have about base chain, you have about crypto, meme coin, blah, blah, blah. Like that's the type of research that I do. I like to hear the perspective when it's biased towards what I think. I have my own things that I've seen and noticed. So obviously it understands where I'm coming from and how I think, but I like it to come from a perspective of the other side as well. And just really looking at stuff objectively as well, because you can't just be in an echo chamber. You have to understand where what you believe has flaws. And by the way, there is none in Toshi. But anyway, Toshi is one of only a few tokens that could even qualify for a $40 billion, $100 billion run. Doge was backed by Elon. Shiba had an ecosystem explosion plus Binance. Toshi has Coinbase, base, US chain alignment, meme potential, and cultural simplicity. There is no other meme coin this cycle with better infrastructure aligned positioning than Toshi. This is what people need to see. This is what people need to realize when it comes down to choosing winning meme coins and learning how to actually invest and just be patient. No matter what people think, like look at this. Look at how many people are selling, not many people are buying. People would see stuff like this and get scared, get worried, be confused, and all this other stuff. This right here doesn't change how base is positioned, the position that Coinbase is in, the position the United States is in, and the importance of crypto, Bitcoin's success in all of this. Bitcoin and crypto is going to succeed, and it's not going to succeed because of you and me. It's not for us. It is a lot deeper than that. That's all I'm going to say. I really do dive into it. I dive into it. I give serious game in my private network. If you want real gems and real game that you're not going to get here on YouTube, because I don't talk about everything here on YouTube, make sure you join the private network, because you're really going to get perspective and you'll really be able to change your life using the information and the things that I'm seeing and the things that I'm talking about. So that being said, I'm very selective with the things that I choose to speak about on social media. At the end of the day, when it comes down to the things that I'm seeing and the biggest opportunity, I'll walk the walk. There's no need to talk the talk when you can walk the walk. Because at the end of the day, I'm getting in position. I'm putting my money where my mouth is and all this other stuff. I live that. I really do that. So I don't have to talk at all. The thing is, I like to try to help people. I do like to try to help people. This is another source of income, so why not do it? It's more money to invest. It's like, it just makes sense. But anyway, that being said, let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. Let me know how you all feel. We're going to end this video here. Be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and I will catch you all on the next one. Peace out, fam.